What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and to learn about 7 of the most influential Canadian entrepreneurs. I actually am very interested in entrepreneurs. I love hearing stories about people who created businesses, did something, had an idea, made something cool. There's a lot of entrepreneurship and it's very much promoted and celebrated in the United States, making a small business. And for that reason, I really want to learn a bit about some of the most successful, influential Canadian entrepreneurs, because I don't know if some of these people are going to have invented companies I've heard of. I don't know if they've made things that are huge in Canada and that I have absolutely no idea about. And if so, I want to learn about it. So I thought this video would be quite interesting for me, hopefully for you too, and teach me something. So let us learn 7 Canadian entrepreneurs who hit it big, according to this title.
When we think of the word entrepreneur, many of us conjure images of tech giants like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, or Steve Jobs, the great movers and shakers of Silicon Valley. But up here in Canada, we've had our fair share of businessmen and women who have made a big impact in everything from tech to tea. And
Tea. Everything from tech to tea. That was not the word I was expecting to come second. But okay, advances in tea technology. Yeah, the United States does have that Silicon Valley thing, you know, all the businesses and financial sectors. And does Canada have its own, like, hub, like Silicon Valley type thing? Is there an equivalent to that in Canada? I would imagine so.
You'll be surprised by some of the companies they've been founded by or run by Canadians. So, let's take a look at 7 of the most influential Canadian entrepreneurs.
Okay.
But first, don't forget to like and subscribe to Whoa Canada for all the latest Canadian content.
Okay, fine. Like. Oh, can I? There we go. Little lag.
Number 7, John Molson. Let's start things off with a little history and beer. John Molson was the founder of Molson Brewery, the oldest beer manufacturer in Canada, and all of North America for that matter.
You know, I don't know what to think about these entrepreneurs that are hundreds of years old, because obviously, if you were the very first person to do something, and I'm not just talking about Canada here, this particular beer manufacturer. I always think like, well, if Coca-Cola was the first like so big huge soda, of course it like became very successful. So I'm not trying to take anything away from being like the first to do something. Obviously that's incredible, and he had an incredible idea and vision. But I think what I'm trying to say is the way in which you can start a business now is different, because almost every business idea has been done, and now it's like about finding what you can do to form a niche or something specific or a creative variation of an idea to start a business. I don't know. I enjoy thinking about these things, and I had completely forgotten that this video might cover entrepreneurs from hundreds of years ago, which is kind of a different way of looking at it.
Molson immigrated to Quebec from Lincolnshire, England in 1782 at the age of 18. At the time, Quebec was still part of the British Empire, and in the wake of their defeat in the American Revolutionary War, many British loyalists were fleeing to the safety of their northern territory. Molson saw an opportunity to tap into a new market as the population in Quebec and the demand for beer soared with the influx of loyalist immigrants. What started off as a 2-person operation, just Molson and an apprentice, soon exploded into one of the largest businesses around.
I mean, it's probably good stuff. Like they definitely him and his assistant apparently definitely deserve all the success they have made. Molson's Brewery, is that around today? Is this popular today? Molson? Oh, look. It came up in Google. That means it's legit. if it pops up in my Google, that's all the proof I need. Autofills in my Google, I mean. The Molson Brewery is a Canadian brewery and beer company based in Montreal, formed in 1786 by the Molson family. Merged with Adolf Coors Company in 2005. All right, pretty cool. I didn't know the first thing would be beer.
To sweeten the pot, Molson later invested in railways, steamboats, and even hospitals. The Molson family fortune is estimated today to be at $1.7 billion. Cheers.
$1.7 billion from beer. That is pretty amazing. So, my Google didn't tell me how much of a market share of Canadian beer this company owns, but it sounds like a whole lot.
Estimated today to be at $1.7 billion. Cheers. Number 6, Jeffrey Skoll.
Okay.
Jeffrey Skoll is an internet entrepreneur and film producer whose net worth is estimated to be upwards of $6 billion, making him one of the wealthiest Canadians living today.
Yeah, I have not heard of him. I feel like the way this is going, I'm not going to have heard of any of these, which is great. You know, that's wonderful because it just means I get to learn something.
If you've ever bought anything on eBay, then it's thanks in part to Skoll. He was the first full-time employee of the startup back in 1996 and wrote the business plan that propelled eBay from obscurity into a global phenomenon.
What? So he didn't found eBay. Wait, he was the first employee. That means he did found it. It's like, he's the first employee. Wait, does that mean he was the first employee as in he made it? Maybe I should just look him up. Either way, sounds impressive. Skoll. Jeffrey Skoll, Canadian engineer, billionaire internet entrepreneur, no big deal, film producer. Oh, what about with eBay, though? eBay. I'll listen to the video. Sorry, Google.
Skoll. Jeffrey Skoll is an internet entrepreneur and film producer whose net worth is estimated to be upward. If you've ever bought anything on eBay, then it's thanks in part to Skoll. He was the first full-time employee of the startup back in 1996 and wrote the business plan that propelled eBay from obscurity into a global phenomenon.
Okay, so the narrator has really careful wording there. The first full-time employee. So maybe it was still a startup, so maybe he was part of a group of people who made eBay. Either way, he freaking helped make eBay. What more can you say? Pretty amazing.
He later went on to found Participant Media with the goal of addressing social and political issues through film. Okay. Some award-winning documentaries and dramas produced by Participant include An Inconvenient Truth, American Factory, Spotlight, and Syriana.
Huh. It did say he was a film producer as well. That's an interesting career. Software engineer, creator of eBay, film producer. Very fascinating.
Number 5, Mike Lazaridis. Mike Lazaridis is a Greek-Canadian who has made millions by founding BlackBerry, the original smartphone that paved the way for and then was made obsolete by the iPhone.
What? BlackBerry was made by a Canadian? That's fantastic. I mean, these things ruled the world for a very narrow point in time. Having the BlackBerry was the cool thing. Like, I was alive, I know, and old enough to understand what was going on. Yeah, completely destroyed and made irrelevant by the iPhone, but look at all the buttons.
Lazaridis didn't stop there, though. He also invested in quantum computing technologies, founding the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics and the Institute of Quantum Computing. Born in
Oh my gosh, quantum computing. Okay.
Istanbul to Greek parents, Lazaridis immigrated to Windsor, Ontario when he was 5. And it's no matter he got into quantum physics. When he was 12, he won an award for reading every science book in the Windsor Public Library.
What kind of random fact is that? He read every science book in the library at age 12. Well, that's what it takes to make BlackBerry, I guess.
Number 4, Susan Nikowski. Susan Nikowski was born in North York, Ontario, to Macedonian parents. Okay. She studied chemistry and mathematics at the University of Ontario and then went to work as a microbiologist for Shopsy's Foods. She used this background to start Summer Fresh Salads, which catered specifically to people on the go needing a quick, healthy meal.
Oh, that's cool. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's like the BlackBerry kind of created its own thing. Like took phones to the next level. eBay created like its own thing. Internet bidding company and trading, like selling your stuff online using a bidding system that was accessible to like anyone. And this is like when I'm talking about finding a niche and making it better. Salad has existed forever. She took salad, made it like cool on the go. I'm not familiar with Summer Fresh, but it is amazing how many different ways you can approach and tackle the problem of what should my business be. So I like the variety of Canadian entrepreneurs that this video has, honestly.
Nikowski's background in chemistry also helped her develop packaging that kept her products fresher for longer.
Oh, I mean, yeah. This packaging looks like every packaging of salad ever now in grocery stores. So maybe she pioneered this kind of packaging as well.
Further solidifying her impact on the industry. Summer Fresh Salads Inc. now offers everything from, well, salads obviously, to dips, hummus, and more.
Okay.
With a net worth of over $3 billion and
Wow.
a company raking in profits of over $100 million a year, Nikowski is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Canada.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Number 3, Garrett Camp. Maybe you've heard of a ride-sharing app called Uber? Well, that was Garrett Camp's idea. Born in Calgary, Camp hit it first big with StumbleUpon, the first web discovery platform and recommendation search engine.
Oh my gosh, I used to use StumbledUpon. And it would just send you to a random cool website. That was this guy? A Canadian Garrett Camp. Directly responsible for lots of joy in my life. I have to admit, I'm not an Uber user. I don't think I've ever used it, actually. Maybe one day. Obviously, one of the most successful apps of all time. Ride sharing. Yeah, Uber is insane. Incredible idea. Didn't realize a Canadian made it. If you've ever watched Shark Tank, at least the US version, I thought they had the founder of Uber on there, but it was a different guy. So Uber must have been created by multiple people, technically, including Garrett Camp here.
Founded in 2002, StumbleUpon exploded in 2007 and foreshadowed what was to come next in terms of personalized curation of content on platforms like Instagram and Facebook.
Oh my gosh, StumbledUpon. That's funny.
2009, while still the CEO of StumbleUpon, Camp started Uber, which has since grown into a giant.
Okay, so is he just the maker of Uber? Like straight up? Hold on. Let's type in Uber founder. Who are you? Oh, see, Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp. It's telling me. Well, definitely Garrett was part of it. Very cool.
Uber has 93 million active monthly users worldwide and generated $11 billion worth of revenue in 2020, helping Camp become one of the wealthiest Canadians with a net worth of over $8.5 billion.
Yeah.
Number 2, Tanya Joshan.
Okay.
Tea, anyone? Tanya Joshan is the founder and CEO of Steeped Tea. She started the company in 2006 after quitting a comfortable job at a sales and marketing agency. Inspired while sipping a cup of Earl Grey tea, Joshan has since turned the company into a hugely successful enterprise and was ranked number 1 on Women 100's list of Canada's top female entrepreneurs.
I don't know what it is, but I love stories like this where it's, oh, I made a tea company. I made something unique with tea or salad. You know, I love that stuff because it's like, oh, you're just sipping on tea one day and you come up with like a vision for a company on tea and it works and you're massively successful. I just think that's the coolest thing ever. What is this company called, by the way? Tanya Joshua. Tanya Joshua. Will that come up? Did they say the name of the tea company?
And was ranked number 1 job sales and marketing agency. Inspired while sipping a cup of Earl Grey and CEO of Steeped Tea.
Steeped tea. Steeped tea? What makes steeped tea, like, interesting? Oh. Huh, maybe if I type Steeped Tea Canada? Yeah. Okay. Wait, Sipology by Steeped Tea. Okay. Wait. Today, Tonya's enterprise is known as Sipology by Steeped Tea. Okay. I've never heard of this brand. Very cool, though. Very cool. Much respect to the tea.
Of the Year Awards for providing jobs to those in need and promoting health and wellness. Number 1, Sir Hubert Holt.
Okay.
Let's go back in time again to meet one of the most famous or infamous businessmen in Canadian history.
Oh.
Sir Herbert Holt was an Irish-Canadian who immigrated to the Great White North when he was 17, where he apprenticed as a civil engineer and worked on building railways. Holt quickly became one of the wealthiest men in the world and eventually controlled over 300 companies, most of them in energy and textiles.
What? Wait, don't tell me that's it. Like, we're just gonna jump over it like that. Oh, he was 17, moved to Canada, and did some stuff, and then owned 300 companies and was rich. How did he do that?
Holt's cutthroat capitalism made him widely hated, however, and it is said that when his death was announced at a baseball stadium in Montreal, the crowd actually cheered.
Oh boy.
His impact was undeniable, though. He made it onto the Canadian $100 bill, and his estimated net worth of $3 billion in the 1930s, when adjusted for inflation, makes him the wealthiest Canadian who ever lived.
Right. Okay, so he's kind of an investor. Like, I suppose that's a kind of entrepreneurship. He was just like a super savvy, cutthroat investor who eventually at his peak became part owner of like 300 companies. Okay, that is a skill in and of itself. Like, you can create one company, have an idea, or you can be that person who it has the vision to invest in other people's vision. That is a skill.
Are there any other Canadian entrepreneurs you think should go on the list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more great Canadian content.
Welcome to Whoa Canada. Today, we're taking a...
Okay, that ended very abruptly. And it already jumped to the next video. In whatever playlist this is. Okay. That was good. I really enjoyed that. I hadn't heard of any of those, I think. And what a variety of different entrepreneurs. This was by Whoa Canada, and I liked it. I gotta give it a like. That was fascinating. eBay? Made by a Canadian? Tea? Salad? Beer? Like, what? Uber? Like, some companies I've never heard of. Some of the biggest companies on the planet. Like, what more do you want? That is a diverse selection of Canadian entrepreneurs who hit it big. Is an understatement. I enjoyed this. I really did. I learned something today. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada, Canadian culture, things in Canada that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.